In my last video I was talking about Nizam and how it rolled over on the side, and extraordinary thing was that I think I was stunned at the time. I wasn't very actually conscious of acute danger. The funny thing happened though on another occasion on Nizam, which did scare me considerably, and that was climbing up the mast and aiming to shin down the steel cables which stabilised the mast to rescue a piece of flag caught in an insulator halfway down. I went up the ladder, and on trying to stretch out onto the cables, I couldn't let go of the ladder, and I couldn't secure my hold on the cable, and I froze, and I was pretty scared. Anyway, I was fortunate because a friend came up the ladder and rescued me. A similar sort of situation occurred on the old passenger ship, the Canimbla. She was a coastal passenger ship, about 10,000 tons, and she was the one that was converted into an armed merchant cruiser. On one occasion there that she had, while we were in harbour, she had a piece of flag stuck out in the yard, which I suppose could have been as much as maybe 20 feet from the mast, something like that. The yard was about the size of a beer barrel at the beginning and tapered towards the end. Underneath there was a foot rope, so that you would be leaning on to go out on the yard, you'd be leaning on the yard and curled up like a grub, and your feet would be on the foot rope underneath. Now the foot rope was not firm, and one foot go down, the other foot would come up, and so that was pretty not a very wonderful thing to be doing. So anyway, I got out along the yard and I rescued this piece of flag, and I started to come back, and at this juncture the ship put out to sea. Well, that was a bit of a scare. Here was draped over the yard, and the ship was pitching in such a fashion that it felt like a rotary motion, that I could easily just get catapulted over the front of the yard, and disaster. Pretty scary stuff. I think I was a bit adventurous doing this kind of thing. I don't remember anyone else tackling them, and perhaps I am a bit stupid. Probably I've been adventurous, I suppose, with this secret ballot reform, trying to amend the ways of Parliament and get rid of the party politics. Well, it's very, very important that it should happen, but I've been doing it for a long time and getting very little result. Hardly any response at all, although when I speak to people they say it's a very good idea. Of course it should be, but of course there are many forces which don't want to see it, including politicians of all breeds, including independents. I would have thought independents would be interested, but no independent I was able to contact showed any real interest at all. But there you go, that's what it is. Anyway, in the next video I shall probably do a bit of a summary of the effects of the ballot, if it were introduced into Parliament, which of course in my view it must be, but to clean up politics. Politics is very weak, and if we don't strengthen our democratic ways, democratic government, we are at the mercy of religious forces, and that cannot be allowed. So we've got a job to do, and that is to repair and renovate and strengthen democracy, including the participation of the people. Anyway, goodbye for now.